To me, it looked like he actually lost the wheel.
The wheel for Ross Chastain is still and perfect.
Wheel on the track.
Did you leave the wheel loose?
You picked the fine time to leave me loose, wheel.
Welcome back to the Loose Wheel Show. My name is Andrew Hazlett. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Ethan Ignatowski, who's normally here, is not. Not quite sure where he is right now, but we'll start the show here. Get into the reviews. I'm doing well, and everyone, I hope you're doing well out there.
And now for last week's race reviews.
F1 went to Brazil last week. It was a sprint race weekend. This is the part where normally Ethan talks about the sprint race, but I do know some of what happened there in the sprint race. Oscar Piastri, the guy who's running second in the championship right now, crashed quite early in the sprint race, but you know, everyone loves sprint races. It's just something that happens. I know Ethan and I both have gone on about this on the show about how sprint races are annoying. Just they serve no purpose. Is that we already have an actual race. Why are we doing a shorter race that adds points? Doesn't really do anything. Like, it's just, why do some weekends get more points and some get less? It doesn't make sense to either of us. I'd rather have more race length variance, is something I've said. Ethan's not he doesn't push that idea as much as I do, but that's something I want. Anyway, and then at the same time, Franco Colapinto, who's known for crashing his car a lot, he's done that a bit in his F1 career. He crashed at the same time as Oscar Piastri, which brought out the red flag. Nico Hülkenberg in his car hit the same barrier, but the team was able to fix the car. He was able to continue running. Gabriel Bortoleto in his home race weekend went into the wall, causing damage to his car on the pit straightaway. He had to go to the medical center, and his car was required to be rebuilt. As I'm looking at the race results here, Lando won as expected because he had pole, followed by Kimi and George Russell, the two Mercedes drivers. Max finished fourth, and then Charles, Fernando, Lewis, and Pierre Gasly getting points. That's 6 different teams getting points. The only two teams were to have both cars in the points. So your top 8 for your sprint races are Ferrari and Mercedes. Lance Stroll and Isaac Hadjar completed the top 10. That was really all of note. In the sprint race qualifying, Max was really slow. He wound up having to start from the pit lane anyway due to power unit change. Him and Ocon both started from the pit lane there. He wound up being 16th in qualifying, which is crazy for Max to say. Here comes Ethan Ignatowski. Hello, Ethan. So nice of you to join us. I already talked about the sprint race, so you don't have to do that.
Oh yeah, what'd you say? What'd you tell me? Try my microphone so I can talk to the people too.
Yeah. Oh gosh, Reese Goodall is here.
Yeah.
Reese Goodall is Ethan comes in late. Reese Goodall is now here.
My microphone, Andrew.
There you are. Hi,
What's up,
Reese.
everyone?
Is mine on?
Yours is on, Reese.
What are we
too.
talking about today,
We're joined
fellas?
by
Reese Goodall of the Phoenix Rising podcast.
PHNX Rising. Please get it right. We don't use vowels.
You don't use.
I don't know why.
So
Kinda
what's
weird.
your name in PHNX speak?
Rus. Well,
Rus.
it's technically RS.
RS, yeah.
RSGDLL.
Yeah, that's quite the name.
Ethan, your name kind of gets lost,
it's just-
because you
it's
take
just
away
like
the vowels.
thin.
Yeah, thin.
Yeah,
Thin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not that great of a name, personally, I'd say. I prefer my name with vowels.
I definitely prefer your name with vowels, too.
What
What podcast is this?
This is the Loose Wheel
The
Show.
Loose
Reese.
Wheel Show?
You should know that.
Oh, I should, actually. But you want to hear a funny story about cars?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh boy.
WRC 26 is the PlayStation Plus game of the month.
Wow.
So I just added it to my PlayStation.
Good job, Reese. You
are you-
actually
okay.
you actually came on and gave something valuable, unlike Morgan Tremmel.
Morgan
who,
Tremmel gives plenty of value to the
who,
show.
who once listed fun facts about Rwanda.
There's nothing fun about Rwanda. We gotta
Yeah,
be
that's kind of the
completely
conclusion we
honest about
came
this.
to.
Yeah.
Great shout out to that episode. That was a fun episode. But on to actual business. Andrew, what did you tell the people about the sprint race?
I told them how Oscar and Franco crashed
And
at the same
Nico.
time. And Nico.
Come on.
But he was able to keep going.
Yes, he was.
I said that.
Yes, he was.
I also said Gabriel Bortoletto crashed, and
I feel like you're not pronouncing that name correctly.
Gabriele Bortoletto.
Yeah.
whatever. And he went to the medical center, and then he couldn't participate in qualifying because he crashed the car and it needed to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
I basically ran through the top 8 in the sprint, how Lando won as expected.
Was that expected?
I mean, he qualified first for the sprint.
Sure, yeah. After qualifying, yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
That's typically how it goes, Ethan.
But thanks for the insight, Reese.
Qualify first. The expectation is that you do go on to win.
thank you, Will Buxton. I mean, Reese Goodall.
I would like to award ESPN and YouTube TV for their genius, though.
Yes.
Because due to their current power struggle, let's call it, I have not been able to watch many sporting events, including Formula One. So thankfully, ESPN puts up like extended cut highlights on YouTube, and I watch that. But like, can't really watch the race if I can't watch
Hand
the
me
race.
your computer. I'm gonna put you on a website.
Oh, my God.
I'm scared.
I was scared from the moment Reese walked in here.
Oh, you don't have internet in here. Creepy. But that's going to be your website that's going to save your life, Ethan. ppv.to. I'm going to give my endorsement there. They have saved my life many of times. Now, I will tell you one thing. When you click on your stream, be ready to click the ads off as soon as possible. They're not all bad. Some of them may be. It's like a roulette. It's like 1 in 5.
We here at the Loose Wheel Show do not endorse Reese's schemes.
No, but genuinely, that will save your life, Ethan.
I will reiterate, us at the Loose Wheel Show and our bosses at Blaze Radio do not
and our boss
As the third
endorse that.
editor-in-chief for Blaze Writing, this is an endorsement from Blaze Radio.
Wow. Well, I mean, I guess Reese is higher up the totem pole than us.
Yeah, Blaze Writing.
But
Blaze Writing.
let's get into the news about the actual race, because, like, yeah, the sprint happened, but no one
I
cares.
also mentioned how
That is true. No one cares about
Max
sprints ever.
qualified 16th for some unknown reason.
Oh, it's not really an unknown reason. That car is fast. It's also incredibly difficult to drive. Sometimes that's going to catch even Max Verstappen out. I think that's my take on it.
But then he hooped.
Okay.
He did hoop, as Reese said. So, yeah, as you said, Andrew, Max, he qualified 16th, but he actually started from the pit lane because he replaced several power unit components after qualifying, which, if you didn't know, Reese, you can't do that in F1.
I
That's
did
illegal.
know that.
So you had to
I
start
used to
from
be
the pit
locked in
lane.
there,
I
but
already
also my
mentioned
roommate,
that.
big F1 guy.
Oh, yeah?
So he was telling me about it, and I just nodded and smiled. But see, I paid attention enough to know that when I go on the Loose Wheel show, I can talk about that master class.
That's good. That's good. So, at the start of the race, Lando, he got a good start off the line. Everyone looked clean through the first lap until it was revealed that Gabriel Bortoleto once again found his way into a barrier, this time courtesy of who else but Lance Stroll. Typical. The crash for
him and Ty Gibbs are my two favorite drivers in all of motorsports, by the way.
Ty Gibbs is Morgan's favorite driver.
I knew that too, but very Morgan-esque.
It is.
Oh boy.
The crash forced Bortoleto to retire from his home race. Safety car came out. Lewis pitted under the safety car because he was also starting at the rear, and he picked up wing damage on the first lap. He went down very low on the track on the front straightaway, and that hurt his car. Had to go get a new wing. So anyway, at the end of lap 5, Lando Norris brought the field back to green. Either Kimi Antonelli didn't get a great restart, or Charles and Oscar both got great restarts, because either way, it was kind of a sandwich with Kimi Antonelli in the middle. Charles gave Kimi a wide berth around the outside, and Kimi, he seemed to cover Oscar enough down the inside of turn 1. But nevertheless, Oscar sent a move down the inside of Kimi. He wasn't alongside his rear wing. He locked up. He hit Kimi, who then hit Charles. And say it with me, Andrew. Charles suffered a loose wheel. It wasn't actually a loose
wheel.
Rip to anyone listening.
Do you guys do that often?
Only if there's a loose wheel.
That's awesome. I got to give both of you a high five right now. Andrew, there we go. Ethan, well done, fellas. Well done.
Thank you. I do have to admit, it wasn't technically a loose wheel. It was just a loose tire. But close enough. And because of that, Charles had to retire. Because Oscar started that whole shebang, he got a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. Andrew, we've beaten the F1 rules of racing on track to death, and then we revived it, and then we've beaten it to death some more. So not going to get into that. But it was pretty cut and dry by the rules, in my opinion. He wasn't alongside Kimi. He locked up. He hit him. Could Kimi have given him some more room? Yeah, probably could have. But no matter the rules, I feel like Oscar would have got a penalty. You can't come from behind, lock up, and hit a guy into another guy. That's just not allowed.
I mean, that's common sense there, isn't it?
Sense.
You just can't do that.
So, that happened. Charles retired. There was some good midfield battling. Oliver Behrman, Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, they were battling for 7th, and then Behrman, he got past Liam Lawson for 6th. There was a lot of open spaces in the points for midfield cars today, with just how many leaders were all over the place. So Max started climbing up the field as well, since he was starting at the back. Kimi Antonelli, he got the pit stop started on lap 21 and cruised back to the top through traffic, but Lando Norris, the race leader, wouldn't come in for 9 more laps. He put on softs since it was a 2-stop race. That gave Oscar the lead momentarily, but he hadn't pit yet, and like I said, he had that 10-second time penalty. When Lando came out of the pits, he was behind Max, but he got past Max pretty easily because he didn't really try to defend that position. They were just at different stages of their race at that point. On lap 39, Lewis Hamilton retired. Just another awful weekend by the Ferraris, double DNF once again. We'll get more into everything that's going on at Ferrari later on when we get into the news section of the show. But
news section.
But
you pump faked me hard there. I got excited.
Ferrari's CEO made a bit of a fool of himself this weekend after the double DNF. Anyway, though, there was some more midfield action until Lando Norris came into the pits for his second stop on lap 50. He came out on mediums and was behind Max, who hadn't pitted again, but he had already completed his mandatory 2-tire strategy. And Oscar also needed to come in and pit again, and he was also in front of Lando. 3 laps later, though, that first problem was solved when Oscar came into the pits and came out behind Oliver Behrman in 7th. Piastri cleared Behrman pretty quickly, and it was also very quick that Red Bull decided to pit Max. Lando was this was partly due to the tire offsets, of course, but he was gaining about half a second a lap on Max. So Red Bull took him into the pits, changed his tires, put him on a new set of softs, and basically just said, go do what you can. And he came out in fourth behind George Russell and Kimi Antonelli. A lap after all that, Piastri got past Liam Lawson to get into fifth place, but that was the last move he would make during the race. Then, on lap 63, which is George Russell's car number, Andrew, Max Verstappen made a move on George Russell. It was a really nice move, kind of pump faked going down the inside, then it went around the outside of turn 1. That was for P3. And it meant Max was back on the podium. We've seen a lot of drivers over the years go from back of the grid to a podium finish at Interlagos.
Like Lewis.
Like Lewis Hamilton, like Carlos Sainz.
I know Wheel.
Like Max himself. But every time we see it, it's just extremely impressive because you don't see that often at other tracks. And even at Interlagos, like, it happens, but you don't expect it to happen, right? So hats off to Max, continuing to prove why he's the best driver in the world. And he wasn't done just yet. He did finish in P3, but he gave Kimi Antonelli a good run for his money. Last couple of laps, he was really putting the pressure on Kimi. But the youngster was able to fend off the vet with some great defending. So yeah, you got to give Kimi Antonelli a lot of credit there. And then a few laps later, when it was all said and done, Lando Norris, he crossed the line. Another superb weekend in the bag for him. Sprint qualifying, sprint race, feature race. He was topped on all of those sessions. So just a perfect weekend for him. Kimi Antonelli, like I said, finished second with Max third. And then the rest of the top 10 was George Russell, Oscar Piastri, Oliver Behrman, Liam Lawson, Isaac Hadjar, Nico Hulkenberg, and Pierre Gasly. So Lando Norris now leads the championship, 390 points to Oscar's 366. That's a 24-point gap. And then Max has 341 points, which is a 49-point gap to Lando and a 25-point gap to Oscar. If Lando finished P2 every single race the rest of the way, he would be the champion no matter whoever finishes elsewhere. It'll be difficult for him to finish P2 the rest of the way, though, because F1's next track that they're going to is Vegas, which isn't this weekend, but weekend after. And that's just a track that McLaren has never really gotten the hang of. Always struggle there. And if there's one, it makes sense because if there's one struggle that McLaren has with their car, it's straight line speed. And the upside down pig track that is the Las Vegas street circuit, it requires a lot of straight line speed. So you can expect McLaren to be better this year, I would say, than in previous years because there's just a better car overall. But I wouldn't be surprised if they had less success than in previous recent rounds. Still, Lando is in a great spot. He's pretty much all but won the championship, knock on wood.
That's not wood. That's some sort of plastic veneer.
All right, come here, Reese. Come here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, he's knocking on my head.
Yeah.
I think I just got assaulted live on the Loose Wheel show.
First ever.
Hopefully last ever, too. I don't want anyone else suffering.
Depends how many times you come on as a guest.
That's fair.
Yeah. Wow. That's what happened in the F1 world, at least on track, Andrew.
I have a question.
I see you're very interested.
He's not locked in whatsoever.
He's not
so I have a
locked
question. You know, because we're talking F1, because I'm so knowledgeable about F1.
Right.
I have a question.
You already know the answer, I assume.
What's the answer?
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard the question. You know the answer, though. You're just asking.
No, I actually don't.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't.
I thought you were just so knowledgeable.
So, we talked about, mainly you talked about, when you talked about for like 10 minutes there, about how at the Brazilian Grand Prix, whatever it's called, team or drivers keep going on these crazy comebacks. Not comebacks, but, you know, I guess it is a comeback. It is a comeback. Why? Why does that happen, Ethan?
Why?
I don't understand. Is it like is it a course thing?
I think partially yes. It's with the current generation of cars that F1 has, passing is pretty difficult. It just is. And that's part of the reason why they're going to a new regulation set next year. But Interlagos which is where the Brazilian Grand Prix is held, is one of the tracks where passing is probably easiest. So I think that is part of it. But also, for whatever reason, we've just had a lot of kind of crazy races at Interlagos in recent years, whether it's been weather or, in this case, a lot of that early safety car. I didn't mention it in my rundown, maybe I should have, but that early safety car also kind of, it allowed Max to pit early as well, which just put him on a different strategy than everyone else. It's a gamble. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't, but I think the combination of that calculated risk with the ability, the ease to pass on that track made it possible for Max and has made it possible for other drivers in the past to go on runs like that.
Fair enough. That makes sense. That answered the question. Well done, Ethan.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Shall we head into the news?
Yeah.
News.
You didn't update the doc, so I don't know what you're going to be talking
Oh,
about.
I
You
did.
don't know what I'm going to be talking about.
I did.
I checked it this morning. It wasn't.
Well, now.
Well, Ethan, when you show up late to the show, because technically Ethan and I showed up at the same time, even though I'm not a full member. I wasn't even invited. I just came in.
You just came in, yeah.
You don't get to see the hard work that Andrew Hazlett puts in and day out to make sure that this show not just runs well, but runs at all.
You're so right, Reese.
You just leech off him. You leech off the
Oh, yeah?
success of
Thank you, Reese.
Andrew Hazlett.
Did you see him on his phone the entire time I was
I
talking?
absolutely
Yeah.
did. But I also saw you in that same time on your phone.
I was reading my notes.
Well, a great journalist doesn't need notes. They just go off the dome.
I'd like you to remember every single thing that happened over the course of a 71 lap race, and then that's your homework, Reese. For the Las Vegas Grand Prix, you're coming back on the show and you're giving the review.
Okay.
All right,
Let's
and no
make a plan.
notes.
Make
No
a
notes
plan.
allowed.
Make it no plan.
All right, book it.
Is that? Will you have a show that Thursday? Oh no, because that Thursday will be Thanksgiving.
You're so right. You weaseled your way out of it.
No, I'll come on the week after.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll have a show. It might just not be live.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, but I will be eating
Yeah.
turkey and.
well,
stuff
we
on
won't
there.
be recording on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We'll
All right.
record-
How about I'll come on for the Qatar Grand Prix
Okay,
because that's more recent.
we'll do that.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good.
Okay. Into the
Mic
news.
drop. I'm leaving now.
Okay. Bye, Reese.
That was Reese Goodall, everyone.
Thank you so much.
I don't think we've ever had a guest promote criminal activities on the show before, so
Yeah.
that is
It's not criminal. It's just unethical.
that is the great Reese Goodall,
I don't know.
and he'll be back
Allegedly.
allegedly. Some are saying.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd call him great, but
I mean,
anyway.
it's a great guy.
He is a great guy, but I don't know. Into the news.
And now for the news.
Ethan, you love it.
Do I?
I love it.
Do I? Do you?
We have another NASCOURT update.
Oh, I don't love it, actually.
I say that sarcastically. Is Hendrick and Penske are going. Rick Hendrick and Roger Penske are going to be disposed in NASCAR antitrust case after saying, "Oh yeah, we don't want to do that." And basically, that means is that they'll be called as witnesses, and they have to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. You know, what they all say. I don't know why you're taking a picture right now, Reese, or Ethan, of whatever.
Focus on you, bro.
You're being a dork, and I just wanted to
I'm
call
being
you
a
out.
dork?
Um,
You were on your phone the entire time I was talking, but I can't go on my phone for 2 seconds
well,
without
you were
me being a
taking a
dork.
picture of a microphone.
Yeah,
I don't know
Snapchat
why.
streaks. Come on now. I'm sorry you're not popular, Andrew.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
I'm sorry.
And my
I'm sorry.
day is ruined.
I'm sorry you don't have any friends, Andrew. I really am. I really am, truly. It's okay.
I have now muted Ethan's mic, and now you can't hear him. Anyway, so like these guys don't want to do this whenever they like with this antitrust case. I at this point, even the other team owners who are a part of NASCAR and are still like trying to run their businesses are like, hey, we'd rather not have this happen. We don't want to be involved in something like this. And it's I think a microcosm of what the fans feel at this point, at least how we feel about how okay, this is still going on, and it feels like it should have been over by now because there's nothing left to say, honestly. Moving over to some Trackhouse racing news, they've finalized their crew chief, driver lineup, and car numbers for 26. As we've mentioned before, Ross Chastain still going to be in the one with Brandon McSwain as his crew chief. He was one of William Byron's lead engineers, replacing Phil Surgeon, who's going into more managerial role of the team. Connor Zilich will now be driving the 88 car with Randall Burnett, as we've noted before. Burnett was formerly with Kyle Busch at RCR, and he helped pioneer the growth of Tyler Reddick. And then Shane Van Gisbergen will now be driving the 97 with Steven Doran, still as his crew chief. So yeah, I think it's cool to let SVG have his number. I don't know why they didn't do it last year.
Because they wanted to stake claim to the 88 as a Trackhouse number. I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I don't know who would have taken it. Who else would have taken it, though?
Allgaier for his Daytona 500 entry.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Got me there. Regardless, it is cool that the 88. I'm gonna miss the 99 because the 99 to me is like such a NASCAR number, you know.
Yeah.
With all the Roush Fenway racing years before they became RFK and now Trackhouse, and that number's been in the sport for so long. Yes, it was out of sport for a little bit when RFK, but
I'm sure it'll come back.
It'll come back at some point, but yeah. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, a lot of memories of Carl Edwards and the 99 and all that stuff. So yeah, I feel you on that.
Moving over to IndyCar news, Ryan Hunter-Reay joins Arrow McLaren for the Indy 500. Arrow McLaren, they haven't ran a fourth car. They didn't run a fourth. Yes, they did. What that fourth car has been the last 2 years is the Kyle Larson car.
Yeah. I was about to say.
I was having a brain fart there, and then in the year before, in 2023, when they were running the 3 cars, it was Tony Kanaan, and in the past on the Indy entry onlys, it was Juan Pablo Montoya, Fernando Alonso's done it before. You look at Oriol Servia, Jay Howard. A lot of certified unks. Connor Daly, Jacques Villeneuve, Catherine Legge, Townsend Bell. Again, yeah, guys who are a lot of older guys have been in that McLaren Indy only seat historically. And Hunter-Reay is going to continue that trend. Hunter-Reay is a solid driver at the Indy 500. So, Ethan, that means I think that this is going to be a car that should contend for the top 10. I wouldn't be surprised if Hunter-Reay were to go out and win the 500.
Yeah, outside chance, yeah.
As a dark horse shot, he's a guy who's shown that he can do run that Dreyer and Reinbold car well. Yeah. And that's a Dreyer and Reinbold car, which is a midfield car for the 500. They only show up in the 500. Go ahead, Ethan.
I want to make sure that we touch on this too, because I think there's another side to this, which although it was already pretty much all but confirmed, I think this puts the final nail in the coffin for another Kyle Larson shot at the double.
At least for the short term. I mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't rule it out in the future. I just think the way he ran in NASCAR, the whole few months after, I think he was just so off. And
there's no way that the Indy 500 threw him off, though, right?
I think that whole weekend, because it was a bad race for him in the Cup race. So I just think that they when you have a few bad weeks in a row, you're kind of scratching, maybe chasing the wrong duck, you know.
I maybe, but like at the same time, like in the Formula One world, there was a big thing on social media over the past few days about Oscar Piastri saying how that race in Monza kind of ruined his confidence and set him up for failure in Baku. And my reaction, and I think the reaction of a fair amount of people, was, how in the world did Oscar Piastri let something so small impact him into the next race and then carry that all the way to the present? Something so small. Like, these are supposed to be, like, especially Oscar Piastri, he's the guy who's supposed to have, like, the Kimi Räikkönen mindset, right? How is that affecting him? How would one bad weekend, sure, I understand it leads into 2 and it leads into 3, but, like, how are these, like, that shouldn't be affecting a guy like Kyle Larson. Yeah, of course, he's human and all that, but, like, you always hear drivers talk about once the visor goes down, emotions get shut off.
I like it still go like I don't know if it's necessarily causation is related to correlation. It's like, yeah, you I think going from Indy to Charlotte, I think there was probably some things there, but you still have to, as a team, if you have a bad race, you have to try and have a rebuild race. And when you have a few of those in a row, I don't know if your mentality changes, but you do some things differently, and you might go down the wrong paths, as I mentioned. You chasing the wrong duck. You might get into a quagmire or something. Regardless,
you love that word.
I've never said quagmire on this show.
Pretty sure you said it last week.
I don't know.
Pretty sure you said it last week.
I don't know. Regardless,
yeah. I think it'd be interesting to see Connor Zilisch do the double. Trackhouse has talked about that in recent days. I mean,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen this year.
26.
Yeah,
but
next year. I mean, yeah, it's not going to happen. But sometime in the future, I'd like to see that happen. Maybe he can run with Arrow McLaren.
And then this obviously, at Dreyer and Reinbold, opens up a ride for someone to drive that car, which is going to be a solid car, yeah. Ethan. Like, Dreyer and Reinbold, I'm going to look up.
I'll throw my hat into that ring if they want to sign me for one race.
Okay, buddy.
You don't think they're interested?
I don't think they're interested.
Dang.
There's a joke for it that I'm going to tell you after we're done here. But regardless, looking at what they've done, they've managed to top 10 in 24 with Connor Daly. They've always ran well. 11th in 23 with Ryan Hunter-Reay. Top 10 in 22 with Santino Ferrucci. Top 10 in 21 with Sage Karam. And 11th in 2018 with J.R. Hildebrand. Top 10 in 2014 with Sage Karam. Like, this has been a team that's, albeit part-time and for the last 10 or so odd years, has produced pretty much every race that they've shown up. So this is going to be a prime opportunity for someone. I don't know who they're going to look at right now because IndyCar, like, I feel like the potential part-time guys are all in weird spots because I just don't know who you're going to get. Maybe a Linus Lundqvist, but he's an oval guy. They kind of like their oval guys. Like, I'd imagine they'd take a chance on a Sage Karam or J.R. Hildebrand before they went to Linus Lundqvist or Theo Porcher, because the guys I mentioned earlier are oval veterans who are experienced and can run well. Like, I would imagine Takuma Sato's going to be in an RL car in the 500, so I would take his name out of it. But I don't know who you go and get.
What's Helio Castroneves looking at next year?
Elio owns part of Meyer Shank.
Oh, does
so
he?
I'd assume he's going to be back in that
Okay.
seat.
Okay.
So yeah.
Fair enough. I didn't know he was,
Wikipedia
part
has
owner
him
like
listed as a driver. So yeah, even still, it's like, I think Sato's the guy you want to go get, but I'm not sure you're going to pry him away from RLL because he's ran well with RLL. I don't see it. So we'll see. I might be.
You think there's like a retired NASCAR guy that maybe would be interested in doing it?
I don't know. Maybe Jimmy Johnson might want to give another shot because it's Jimmy Johnson, but
yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Louis Foster signs contract extension with RLL team, which is a move to me makes sense. Foster was a solid. He finished 23rd, which is underwhelming, but he showed lots of pace at the end of the year. He had only one finish outside the top 20 after Gateway, which was basically the halfway point in the year.
Mm-hmm.
So he made improvements because before, or at Gateway and before, he only had 3. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong guy. No, I'm looking at the right guy. He only had 3, yeah. So he was a guy that was able to improve. I think he's a guy in the future. He wound up tied for 22nd points with Nolan Siegel, and he lost the tiebreaker there due to lower top finish. But I think he's a guy that you can say, oh yeah, he'll crack the top 20 this year in points. But he'd have to pass 3 guys, and it's going to be hard to find those 3 guys because, but the IndyCar grid's so tight. So we'll see how he does. It's going to be just the IndyCar grid's just so stacked up and down. So moving over to the final piece of IndyCar news. IndyCar decides on independent officiating route. I don't know exactly what this is. It's like they've made a change, but it's an independent board, but was created by Penske, which doesn't really make sense to me because I don't understand it. But just looking forward, I think race control's still gonna stay the same. I feel like the stewards are. They say, quote, "This board will not be sitting in race control or standing out around tech, helping call penalties real time. Operationally, you're still going to have a race director, still have the tech team and all those components as we know them." And this is a quote from Doug Bowles. So yeah, I don't think everything's going to change. I think it's just more of an overhead committee, I guess, but we'll see how everything changes because there's been a lot of race control scrutinization of how they handle things with procedures of cars that spin, particularly under pit stop cycles. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not super optimistic of saying, oh yeah, this is going to be the thing that fixes anything. But we're going to move over to F1 news. Franco Colapinto retains his Alpine seat for the 2026 F1 season. Ethan, I know you're happy about that, right?
Not quite, but it was to be expected, I suppose. Love him or hate him, Franco brings a lot of money from Argentinian companies into that team. We know that management over there, I mean, I'm sure that's part of the reason why, but management over there really likes him. He's managed by, at least at one point, probably still is managed by Flavio Briatore. So, I mean, it just kind of all makes sense. And until you look at the on-track results, right? Because he has not really done any better at all than Jack Doohan. You know, I think that I'd even say that he's done worse, considering the fact that that how much longer he's had in that car to get up to speed, and he still hasn't really outperformed Jack Doohan at all. I'd honestly consider that as doing a worse job, if that makes sense. You know, it's not like Pierre Gasly's lighting the world on fire, but he's still getting points every now and then, whereas, I mean, what's Franco doing?
Has got 0 points. I have as many F1 points this season as Franco Colapinto does, Ethan.
Yeah. It's, Pierre has 22 points over the course of the year, which isn't anything to write home about, but it's a lot more than 0, you know? It's a lot more than 0. So
it's infinitely more than 0.
There's a lot of guys out there that I think are better fit to at least get a chance in that seat.
Name 2.
I'll even keep it with drivers that have been related to Alpine in the past. I believe Paul Aaron was part of their academy at some point. I think that he would be worthy of a shot over Franco Colapinto. Honestly, that's the only guy who I can think of that has been in the Alpine Academy of late. But
wasn't Théo Pourchaire there?
Yeah, Théo Pourchaire, Felipe Drugovich. If we want to go to the current F2 season that's about to wrap up, you say, okay, can they bring a rookie over? I think that they definitely could. I mean, you have guys like Leo Fornaroli, who is currently not part of any driving academy, meaning essentially making him a free agent, and he's leading the championship with 2 rounds to go. Jack Crawford, he's currently with the Aston Martin Academy, but I'm sure that that you could work something out with him to leave that academy to become a Formula 1 driver. Further down the grid, guy like Arvid Lindblad, you could probably work something out with Red Bull to have him on loan for a season. Like, if you want to Victor Martins, formerly of the academy, like, I know his stock has dropped in recent years, but like, Franco's not doing anything. Give someone else a shot. Yeah. I don't know what Alpine's doing. I think that Jack Doohan deserved a bigger shot, as a longer look as well.
I agree. I don't know if Alpine knows what they're doing.
I think that they do. It's just that they're doing money, not on-track performance, which is disappointing. But you need money to go fast, so I see it both ways. I still don't agree with the move. Moving on to some more F1 news. I think the biggest piece of F1 news, even honestly bigger than Franco Colapinto staying with Alpine, because who cares, to be frank. Ferrari president John Elkann, after the nightmare that was Brazil, said that Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc should, quote, focus on driving and talk less. Maybe, Mr. Elkann, you should listen to your own advice and not put your drivers on public blast for zero reason. Both of your drivers retired due to things outside of their control. Yes, Lewis's qualifying was disappointing, but he retired due to mechanical issues. Charles was wrecked into. These are not problems that your drivers caused. You should focus on watching races and talking less, perhaps. Just a thought. It's just a clown comment. Like, why are you saying something like that? He went on to say, if we look at the Formula One Championship, we can say that on one hand, we have our mechanics who are actually winning the championship with their performance and everything they've done on the pit stops. If we look at our engineers, there's no doubt that the car has improved. If we look at the rest, it's not up to par. We certainly have drivers for whom it's important that they focus on driving and talk less, because we still have important races ahead of us and it's not impossible to get second place. I would like to return to a quote by Fred Vasseur earlier this year. I don't have it in front of me. I don't have the full quote. But Fred Vasseur, team principal of Ferrari, he said at some point earlier this year, he said, we've changed team principals, we've changed drivers, we've changed, multiple components on the car, engineers. He basically listed through every single thing that Ferrari has changed. And he said, there's only one thing that we haven't changed. That one thing, even if he didn't say it outright, Andrew, is Ferrari president John Elkann. He is making a fool of himself, and it why would you even say that? How would it work out well with you as a team principal putting your drivers on blast like that? I mean, it's just unfathomable, in my opinion.
Ethan, if I had the chicken award, I would use it right now, but I didn't bring it today because I forgot.
Yeah, we can give 2 Sir Lancelot Medals of Excellency.
What was the first one given to?
ESPN and YouTube TV.
Okay. All right.
Since we don't have anything to preview, I'm going to continue on with some lesser F1 news. Primarily, Sergio Perez, he tested Ferrari's 2023 car at Imola. He's obviously coming back into the sport with Cadillac. Next year, Cadillac and Ferrari have their partnership going on with Cadillac using Ferrari engines. So, Sergio Perez getting some work in there. I believe he's driven he must have driven Ferrari engines in the past, just not any time recently, I would think. Yeah, when he started out at Sauber, that was Ferrari engines, but that was a long time ago. Different engine entirely. So getting used to some Ferrari engines there makes a lot of sense. We had Toto Wolff looking to sell, or might have even sold at this point, part of his stake in the Mercedes team. He will still have a, according to the BBC, he currently owns a third of the team, and he's looking to sell somewhere around 5% of his stake. And the team is valued at 4.6 billion euros, or pounds, sorry. So if you do the conversion and you do some math, that's a lot of money. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But yeah, I mean, it's a large amount of cash. It's been said that, Toto's role in the team isn't going to change, and nothing like that. So purely just a financial move. Maybe something will change in the future, but I doubt that. Toto Wolff is so ingrained in that team, you know. It would be the shock of Christian Horner leaving times 10. And there's nothing to say that he will. So that's that. We also had Audi unveil. I don't know if it's like their complete livery, because they're calling it a livery concept.
It's just I don't think that's worth talking about, because I do have some NASCAR random silly things.
I have two more things then, real quick, but just since we already mentioned it, just to finish off, it is pretty boring. It's just silver front of the car, red and black back half of the car. I hope they make it a little bit more interesting. Actually, Andrew, I'll let you say what you need to say, and then if there's time, we can get onto my news, because the last two things, they're more F1 adjacent than F1 itself.
Cup Series, there might be a silly season news piece in the Cup Series. Ty Dillon possibly might not be full-time, or might not be driving the Colleague 10 car at all. Who knows? There hasn't been any firm word on it. Just kind of the rumor mill spewing things out there. All the other 35 full-time Cup cars have been really decided on who's going to be driving them. It's really too late depending on how the lawsuit goes. I think all the 6 cars are still going to be driven by those drivers at this point. I want to talk about some Xfinity Series silly season news as well. We have some drivers changing around that I wanted to mention. Carson Kvapil is going to be full-time for Junior Motorsports in 2 different entries, probably. Corey Day is going to be full-time for Hendrick Motorsports. Connor Zilich, Ross Chastain, and Shane Van Gisbergen are all going to be part-time in various Junior Motorsports cars. Rajah Kruth will be driving a Junior Motorsports car part-time and a Jordan Anderson racing car part-time as well, that are going to be making up a full season schedule. Parker Retzlaff's going to be driving for Viking Motorsports, moving from Alpha Prime. Ryan Ellis is going from DGM to Young's Motorsports. They're going to be fielding 2 cars next year. Harrison Burton moves from AM Racing to Sam Hunt Racing. Really not much further to say. Just guys trying to get better rides, trying to change things up. Corey Day, a huge hyped prospect as well. First time that Hendrick car has been full-time in a very long time, and that was when Kyle Busch was full-time in the Cup Series. Truck Series, not really anything really confirmed for silly season changes at this point, other than Brendan Queen, Justin Haley, Daniel Dye going to be driving for Colleague at this point in the trucks.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Well, we got a minute left, so I will mention one thing and we can save the next for next time. Nikola Tozlov will be taking over for Pepe Marti at Campos in F2 for the rest of the year, as Pepe Marti is leaving for Formula E, which that season is starting right around the corner. So it wasn't like there was tension or anything. It was an amicable split because Pepe Marti's just exploring a new opportunity in his career. Solid driver, maybe could have had a chance at F1, but Formula E seems like a good landing spot for him. So congratulations to him on getting that ride. And then as for Nikola Tozlov, he finished second to Rafael Camara in F3 this year. That championship is already wrapped up, and he'll be in F2 next year with Campos as well. So just getting some early work in, win-win-win for all 3 parties involved there. Yeah.
All right. That's it for the Loose Wheel Show Season 3, Episode 45. That's Ethan Ignatowski. My name is Andrew Hazlett. Have a great day, everyone. More Blaze programming coming right up.
All right. Here we go, guys and gals. And boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, drivers!